We're going to cover in your textbook lesson 33, and this should be a very simple lesson. It should be a review, but I need to make sure that everybody remembers this and has gone over it, so let's jump in. This lesson covers two concepts. It covers converting fractions to decimals and then converting decimals to fractions. So the first thing is we're going to have to remember how to convert fractions to decimals. And the example in your book is 1/2. Now the reality is most of us know that 1/2 is equal to 0.5, but the reason is, if we remember a fraction line means division, we simply do top divided by bottom. Now most of you are going to have a calculator and not have to do this by hand, but because I'm teaching it to you, I'm going to show you how to do it by hand. 2 can't go into 1, they can go into 10, oops, it can go into 10, not 2 times, 5 times, and therefore the answer is 0.5. But the only thing you have to remember, and what people get confused about, is that I have to enter the top number first. It is top divided by bottom. So when I type it in a calculator, I have to type my top number in first. Now let's talk about another type of fraction when we divide. Let's say I give you 1/3, or your textbook gives you 1/3, and asks you to convert this to a decimal. We simply do top divided by bottom, and when I type this in a calculator, I get 0.33333333 on forever and forever and forever. The rule is, unless you are otherwise told, you want to round to 2 places, which means I need to look at my third number to round this. And people tend to forget the rounding rules for some reason. Remember, 1 through 4 leaves the number the same. 5 and above makes the number go up. 3 is less than 5, so it's just going to leave this 3 as 3. So my answer is going to round to 0.33. So just round to 2 places if you have a huge long decimal. The next part of this is converting decimals back to fractions then, and this one is a little bit maybe more confusing, but it's not necessarily very hard. Let's say that I give you 0.25, and what you have to do is you have to just pretend it's a regular number first, and that's going to become your top. Your numerator is going to become just the number. Your bottom is going to become the place value. So we have to remember there's no oneths in decimals. It starts with tenths, hundredths. So in this case it is 25, pretend it's a whole number, over tenths, hundredths. And then if I can, I need to reduce. 25 divided by 25 is 1. 100 divided by 25 is 4. So 0.25 as a fraction is 1/4 once it's fully reduced. Let's look at one more. Let's say that I give you, oh, my pen working, sorry, 1.3, and I want you to convert this to a fraction. And you may not even have any with a whole number just yet, but I wanted to go over one. Remember, this is just a whole number. So that's going to stay as my whole number. This part, the 0.13, I'm sorry, the 0.3 is the fraction. So I'm going to put the 3 as a whole number on top over the place value, which is the tenths, 3 over 10, and that can't reduce. So that is just my answer. Now, if I'm given a decimal like this, 0.6 with a line over it, that line is called a repetand. You probably haven't seen one in a while because we don't use it very often, because by now, most often we're rounding our decimals to 2 places. But occasionally you're going to see a repetand, and that means that that number goes on forever and forever and forever. So when I have a fraction that never ends, I don't have an ending place value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use what's written. 6 as a whole number over 10. that can be reduced. They can both be divided by 2. So this is almost 2/3. It's obviously not going to be exactly 2/3 because 0.6 goes on forever. But just take whatever's repeating. So if I was given 0.72 as a repetand, that means 72 repeats over and over and over and over. I'm going to just use the 72 over tenths, hundredths, and 72 over 100 can reduce, but I am too tired to do it in my head, so I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to get 18 over 25 as my fully reduced answer. And that's that. Hopefully you were paying attention in class when we numbered your homework for the quiz, because I'm not going to type all of these out. You're going to have quite a few homework problems, but what I've done is from the bottom, oh, my pen went out again, the bottom of page 73, it's activity number 2, so it's number 2. And we numbered them across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 as your first set of questions. And then if you turn the page to page 74, and I should have numbered this smaller, page 74, you have activity number 3, and it's numbered the same way, but it's going to start at 15, then 16, then 17, then 18, all the way down 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So you have 30 questions to answer on that quiz. It's not a quiz, on your online homework. But if you will work them in that book, then just transfer the answers to your homework activity. If you get stuck or have questions or are confused, text me. Hopefully you are paying attention in class and are not confused.